got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. But you were calling me a liar, 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 liar. Yeah, I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the I'm sick of fighting the things that you said. I don't wanna burn all our bridges ahead. I'm tired of going to bed when you left me on red just to turn up the noise in my head. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. But you were calling me a liar, 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 liar. Yeah, I've been putting in the hours, I was. And it's coming down to now and now and now and now and never. I was putting in the
Hello and welcome in, friends. It is time to get into some LVC Rocket League, and today they will be taking on Pace Empire Gold in the NECC Division 6 Northeast third place match. That right there is a bit of a mouthful. That's almost a full paragraph, depending on who your professor is. But for right now, these two teams are just awaiting to get the lobby up and going, and then we'll be ready to start our series. So from what I've been able to deduce from the Nationals point standings, it does not seem that Pace Empire Gold, regardless if they win or lose here tonight, will be able to make it into that national tournament. And on the other side, for LVC, they are guaranteed a spot in Nationals, but the difference here is 15 Nationals points, and that actually does mean something for the Flying Dutchman. They can move up a few extra spots if they do manage to take this series over Pace Empire Gold. And Pace just looking to send LVC down a couple of spots in the national bracket, but again, for the side of Pace, they cannot make Nationals as far as I can tell. Unfortunately for them, if they win this match, they will only be able to go above one or two other teams here, but the issue with that is there are two teams that are guaranteed to finish above them no matter what happens tonight, unless if those teams forfeited and lost all their points, which they are not. So unfortunately for Pace, this is going to be the end of their season here at the side of, regardless of the result here. But for right now, we do have the teams loading in, ready to go. So let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. This is the final series of the regular, well, I shouldn't say regular season, the final series of the non-nationals portion of the season. Then we will be able to get into that main event next week. But for now, it's up to LVC to give themselves some extra points before we head into that national circuit, as it will be first attempt at a shot here for Pace, but Jay ends up just getting a reset, which normally you actually would want to use it, but in that case you didn't want to because it actually sent the ball past his teammate. But three players of LVC with no boost. Samus, the only player able to get in position to take that touch across, and that shot is also no good. So LVC need to get out of their own half here. They are kind of struggling a little bit. They are almost getting in their own way. It seems like they were stacked on top of each other a few times. Not a great touch from Maroon, but gave Samus the time to get up into the air and get ready for that one. But still stuck in their own half. The pinch on the wall doesn't work out super well. Shot and goal. Jay Collin not able to get there in time. So it will be first blood over to Pace Empire Gold. They will take a 1-0 lead just under a minute, just before a minute into this series. 4:09 on the clock. So a lot of time for LVC to get back on the board here. But at the same time, they have really struggled here so far to get out of that blue side of the map. See, Colin tries to get that flip timed properly, doesn't do so, as that pass from Maroon mid actually ends up causing two players to whiff. Samus puts a little too much onto it, but Maroon follows it through, and it's a goal. A very quick response from the Flying Dutchman, but really awkward play from Pace Empire Gold. They end up double committing, and then Stray is just way too slow to the ball. And that last player there that was in net just unable to control himself, just kind of throwing their car at the wall there, and didn't work out. Demo off kickoff gives Colin some space. He's going to have a solo play. Looks for the double. Is he there? No, he is not. Well, that's a lie. He was there, just didn't end up hitting the shot the way he wanted it to. And unfortunately, it just slams off the crossbar. We've seen that a few times from him this season, but certainly want to be prepared for those heading into that national bracket. This one will roll across and just dies right off the corner. A little surprising to see Maroon handing that possession away. Jay Collins going to need to get onto this ball quickly, and he just narrowly misses it as that player did stray. Did manage to get a tiny touch upfield, but now it's Maroon looking for the midfield once more. Gets contested, so Colin just has to get a quick touch. Let Samus get to that one. He's unable to as well. Maroon misses, and that's going to be a free goal for Pace. LVC just outpacing themselves right now. Really no need to try and force the issue the way they are, but they're just trying to go a little fast for their own good. And we've seen that a lot this season, especially towards the latter half. It feels like LVC has really been getting in their own way. Rather than allowing teams to just kind of fall into their play, they're forcing themselves to sometimes go a little bit too quickly, and it leads to mistakes like what we just saw from Maroon. That's a triple commit for LVC there, but is it going to lead to harm? It looks like Maroon is going to be here to send this one to the corner at the very least, so his teammates will be able to get back, but got a little awkward for a second there. Maroon going to look to receive this pass. It's intercepted by Stray. Stray will also get past J-Con, who also additionally gets demoed. Maroon tries to get here in time, gets a 50, and that should have been a shot from Stray, but instead Stray will save the shot from Jay. A little bit of unfortunate play there from Pace. It's going to lead to a pass to J-Con, but he sends it to the moon. Didn't get above it like he wanted to. And Maroon just a little far forward. Sails will take another shot, though, top right corner, and it's through. LVC will again tie it up. Still haven't seen a lead yet for the Flying Dutchman. And Ayo is on the right spot there. Just ends up jumping out or getting off the wall a little too early and too low to get into the position the ball was at in that top right corner. It's a very well-placed shot from Samus as he gets a reset there. Won't use it. Now has the pass out mid, but didn't really go far enough. There's not much power on that touch off the corner. Maybe looking for a second touch even as Jay gets past the LVC attack. Now LVC a little bit of a scenario on defense there, but managed to get through it. Maroon downfield once more. As J-Con takes his shot, Stray just waiting for it in net. Samus contests that one. I'm a little surprised to see him not let Maroon get that touch there, but pass from Maroon gonna cause at least a 50. It's a little awkward. J-Con gonna look for another shot. It's a bump from the side of Pace Empire Gold, but they are still holding strong on defense. Samus pass mid again. Not gonna be there for the second touch. Neither is, I believe it was J-Con, as he'll just sail one again, top crossbar. The thing I've noticed a lot with J-Con is he just gets so antsy to shoot, as Jay will get a free one into the LVC net. J-Con just gets so antsy on shots that he just blasts into the ball, doesn't really think about what he's trying to do with the shot. He just wants to take one, and it almost always leads to that crossbar being slammed into, and it leads to counters that are free for the other team like that. I want to see J-Con slow down, take his time to think about his shots, especially in a scenario like that. You need to have the awareness that you are not going to be contested. There's no way for him to be contested there unless he literally stopped his car, took a full second to stop, and then thought about it, and then took the shot. But we have seen Colin pop off himself, so it's not like he isn't capable of it. He just needs to be a little more consistent on the way he takes his shots. As with 1 minute remaining, LVC is down by 1. And they are stuck in their half again. Colin gets a beat, but just tossing the ball. We saw this last week against Post. It was really the death of LVC in that series against Post. They were just banging the ball downfield with no real care on what they were doing, and it caused so many possessions to just be tossed away, forcing them to sit on defense almost the entire series. And you can see it again here. Colin now going to take his time. Gets a decent 50, but Stray is waiting for it. A pass, though, up to Colin. Doesn't have boost, but still ends up hitting that crossbar. Maroon follow, no good. Now an LVC advantage, but for how long? Maroon doesn't have boost, but he can still follow this one up. Samus doesn't get there in time. 10 seconds on the clock. You are running low on it. Stray gets a good touch out. Samus, though, keeps it in possession, trying to get this one over top. 1 second left, and that's going to be game 1 over to Pace Empire Gold. LVC just have not been able to figure out how to get out of their own way. It feels like in the past month. I mean, to be fair, they've only played like 2 games in that month, but still, it feels like LVC has struggled so greatly to get out of their own way, and they are just constantly whipping the ball downfield, not really taking control touches, and even a lot of the shot opportunities, they're just not taking advantage of them properly. So would like to see LVC kind of calm things down, figure out what they want to do here, and get back into the series. They're not out of it, of course, just yet. I mean, it's a best of 7, so we still got a lot of Rocket League to play, but LVC just need to find their own way and just allow themselves to get through these series without stepping on their own toes. And taking a look at the shots, I mean, LVC even has a shot advantage there, and again, not converting on shots. That is something that LVC has also struggled with a lot, especially in the fall. They seemingly, I should say, fixed the issue at the start of the semester, but it came right back to them maybe after the 3rd or 4th series in the regular season this semester. They again ran into issues with converting shots, and that has just been a constant issue for this squad. Maroon sends it across, but not going to get much out of that. Jay Colin tries to 50. I don't know that that was a 50 nonetheless. as Maroon just gets a big touchdown field. Can someone follow it? Jay Collin does, but he shoots it short this time. And that has been another huge issue that we've seen from Collin. I mentioned it earlier in game 1. The shots are just not there from him. He needs to be a little more consistent shooting, and he'll be all right. This one heads towards the LVC net. Maroon is ready for it, waiting to control. But he gets met on the almost the ceiling. Jay Collin now can follow this one through, but gets caught up with Jay. Although he'll be handed the ball right back. He doesn't have boost, so he's just trying to pop it up for someone to go for it. And that person's going to be Maroon, but Samus is really close behind him, and now Collin's stuck in the rotation too. Really bit of a miscommunication here from LVC. Now it's going to lead to a shot coming in, but not really anything onto it, so that could have been 2 different players getting that save for LVC. Again, LVC have the right pieces, but they're just not. They're making a lot of mental mistakes, and again, it just leads to a goal. You can see Samus is certainly frustrated there. I mean, just so many things. He drives around the ball, and Maroon is back, but doesn't have boost. Didn't really need it for that play, but at the same time, it just doesn't. I don't know. I just am not really sure what's going on with LVC, but they look great in their scrim before this. They scrimmed Arcadia, and they were beating them pretty well. But right now, LVC look like they have not played Rocket League in at least a couple weeks. Maroon just buying some time there. Did a good job of it because that wasted a lot of boost from that other players. Samus's initial touch just goes through. He was waiting for the second, but just didn't end up needing it. As you'll see there, on the slow-mo goes for that first touch. So, actually, no, it did go for that second. I don't know if he got there or not, but either way, I don't think it was really needed, as that player net wasn't there. This one gets sent back to Maroon from Collin, as that shot from Jay is just well placed, and LVC again just allowing Pace to have full possession and just take a free shot. I mean, it just starts with a rough touch there from, I think it was Jay Collin, to the wall. He at least rotated back. He made the right play after that. He did get to the back post. It just, you're not there if you're LVC. And I mean, you can still see it on Samus pretty much every cam, or every time the cams pull up. He's really not happy with what's going on right now, of course. I mean, obviously he's losing. As Maroon just gets caught in the back line, it's a musty for Jay. And again, LVC just don't look like they want to play Rocket League right now. I'll be blunt. They just don't look like they don't know what they're doing. It's a really rough showing. I'm not really sure what more to say. I mean, it looks like the exact opposite of the team that I just watched play scrims for an hour. Samus is downfield. Managed to grab that corner boost as a shot is missed from Collin there. He doesn't even get a touch on the ball. Not ideal, but Samus still has possession. On the backboard though. Pace ready for it. That one's past 2. Last player didn't have boost, but managed to get a touch, and that's going to be enough for Pace to get back into the defensive rotation. Heard the reset there for Maroon. Not going to really get much out of that though. So this one sends mid. Not going to get much though, and that's just going to be a pass. And actually, I don't even know if that player connected on to the pass. I think it would just end up being a straight shot, and it was off target, so that redirect was needed, and it was not connected with. This time Maroon going to control with boost. Collin tried to follow, but didn't have any to go with. As now it's again Jay just going to put one on target. Samus just narrowly getting back. Where's the defense from LVC? It looks like Maroon was playing that back post, so he was just patiently waiting for the ball to go through. That one's just a really heavy touch from Pace. Not much really going to go for them on that one. And with a minute and a half remaining, you still have to cut down this 2-goal lead. That one's off ceiling, and it will bounce in if no one touches it, but you see there off the backboard, as Samus gets bumped into it, actually forces Maroon away from the ball, which is a little unfortunate. Now Collin just gets a little slow to that second touch. It's going to lead to possession again for Pace, and now who is really back? Maroon with no boost grabs the corner, but he's actually going to be able to carry this one out, but again, just getting so far ahead of the ball. I don't really know what's up with that, but all three of these LVC players have really been struggling even to get consistent touches that are kind of routine for a player at this point. So I'm a little confused on what's going on here, but would like to see them get back into it. And you see there, Samus will convert on the goal. 41 seconds remain. So, I mean, I can just see by the cameras, the players are a little checked. So they're going to need to bring things back together, calm it down. And remember, there's still a long series ahead of them. And they're down 1 in this game. A good demo from Sam is going to give Colin a chance to shoot here. He'll take a second touch, looks for the bump, not going to get it. Probably wanted to get a second touch rather than just shoot and hope the bump came through, I would imagine, based on how that looked. But he just misjumps. As now Samus again, that third man just having to try and make a play, but not really getting much out of that. Samus pops it to the ceiling. Maroon is kind of there. Jay Collin jumps at it instead, and it's just a collapse for LVC. That's a goal into the back of their net. I don't know what is going on, but it just looks like a completely different team from what I saw even 10 minutes ago. So I'm not really sure what to say at this point. 10 seconds, a 2-goal lead. I mean, you can get 2 kickoff goals, but with how they've been playing, I expect this to end just at 4-2. As you'll see there, this one will go through. So it is a 1-goal lead for Pace. LVC can do this in theory. There's only 4 seconds left. A little surprised to see. It looks like it went through that player's car on our screen, but I did think he got it. I thought he got a touch, but I guess not. If he got a touch, it ended the game. But now it gets a little weird, but you're still in a pretty comfortable spot. Now, though, that it's popped, I mean, Samus doesn't have boost, so that's just going to be sent away, and that's going to be ground. So 2-0 lead for Pace Empire Golden. Again, it's the story of last week too. LVC is just shooting themselves in the foot and not giving themselves proper opportunities to even take a lead. They have not even had a chance to be in the lead this entire series. The only time they've ever had a chance to be in the lead is off the kickoff when it's 0-0. After that, it has essentially never been a possibility for LVC to have the lead in the series in an individual game, and that's a huge problem, of course. Again, the shots though almost even across the board, and even though it's a 1-goal difference, it really was a 2-goal difference when you consider that that last goal came in with 4 seconds left. So LVC just needs to take a mental reset. I mean, getting immediately into game 3, which is pretty rare. I thought normally you'd see Frenchie take a timeout there, so I'm a little surprised he doesn't call it. And while this game doesn't really matter much for Pace, for LVC, it does mean a little bit. There are a couple spots you will go down if you don't end up winning here. And it's not looking like that they will even get close to a win. But at the end of the day, you still have a lot more to play, and that's why they play best of 7s, and especially in playoff brackets. Samus getting the first lead of the series for Lebanon Valley. Good shot off the wall, and maybe that's the mental reset LVC needed. As Samus gets that demo again off kickoff. Seen that kickoff play a multitude of times. A really fast save there from Colin. Maybe not expecting it to be like that, especially with how much pace that ball had coming off the wall. As this one from Colin, again, stuck in net, but he's a little far forward. It's not necessarily a misplay on his part, though, as Maroon is just caught in no man's land. And Jay just much faster than Colin to that ball. Pace handed another goal. We see again, it's just coming down to getting way too large of touches on the backside. There's a lot of defensive plays where LVC is just slamming the ball ahead of them. I don't know if they're just not able to control it or what's going on, but they're just not giving themselves opportunities to even really gain a proper possession. They're almost trying to play too fast for their own good. But now here comes Maroon, able to at the very least get a 50 there. I actually thought he was going to be able to shoot. I missed seeing that one player. Samus on rotation ends up bumping Colin. Maroon forced forward, but not going to get much there. Samus off the wall. It's going to be a little bit faster there. Redirect from Maroon isn't online, but Samus can take a shot. Actually looks to pass it, I believe, mid. Doesn't get it there. Maroon jumps way over the ball. Samus controls it. Looking to get it past another. Jay Collin can redirect, but A little bit of a tough angle for him. He's going to at least keep it in possession for LVC for a moment. Samus wasn't able to follow, and now it's again possession for Pace. Not for very long as Samus gets an aggressive pinch there off the back wall. Now LVC attacking once more. Samus off for the double. Did have it, but does get sent home. Sorry, not sent home, sent away. As Jay Collin looks for his teammate out mid, not going to get it there. Samus has to be careful with this touch. Does so. Collin flips onto the wall, gets a demo at the very least. So LVC will still be able to hold this ball. Now sent down mid. Maroon, though, gets met by 2 players of Pace. And the third is going to be Jay, who's looking for a shot down around, but not able to get there again. Looking a little bit better here for LVC. Things look much more controlled. But you do need to find yourself back into a lead. As this one sent out mid. Jay Collin sends it down to Samus. Samus gets a really light touch, maybe trying to hope Collin can get there in time, but there was a player ready for that in net. Samus demos third, so just down to Maroon and Collin to get one singular touch. It does just that. Samus even gets a second bump just to make sure that second man can't get to the ball. As it looks like this one will float in front of the net. Collin gets beat by Stray, but had the right idea. This one now passed to Jay, and Jay just going to sail it. So, again, LVC can send it away for a clear. Much calmer game than what we've seen over the rest of the series. There's only a 2-0 lead for Pace, as Jay Collin nearly able to sneak one through that back of that Pace net. Samus with no boost, going to have to make an acrobatic save. Does just so. Maroon ends up cutting, so he'll have to allow Samus to pass it over to Collin. Shot, crossbar, or sorry, post, and then in for Maroon. Great pass for Samus. Collin just doesn't get his car turned enough. He needs his car to essentially be fully flat there, and it is not, so it ends up hitting the post, but Maroon able to follow through. We've seen Maroon have a lot of those this semester, or this season, where he simply just gets a challenge off of a rebound, and he'll score off of those, but Jay gets another shot. Samus narrowly getting the save. Almost an instantaneous tie-up from Pace, but now got to find a different avenue. Collin ends up just hitting that right into Strays, but works out in the end. This one will float mid as Samus is the only defender available for Pace. LVC a 2-goal lead. Now they're looking much better. They've settled in. And with 1:04 remaining, they are in control here of game number 3, a very pivotal one. Collin gets that one to go off the sidewall. Now Strays a solo play, and that's not gonna go. Strays finds the back of the net. As actually, I'm surprised Jay Collin doesn't even get a touch there, but regardless, it doesn't really matter. This one will rotate through, and that's another shot, and that should have been a goal, but will the follow go in? No, it will not. Double clonk. Everyone in the Chicago area just gotten flashbacks as Pace not able to tie up the game, but with 30 seconds remaining, LVC are now on the prowl for another shot. Won't go. Samus tries to rebound, still not there. And now Mamek has a chance to pass it out mid, but Strays just blasts forward and sends it so far across, it's nearly a clear. Samus will just bump one down. And with 5 seconds left, Pace has one more chance, but they've got an open net. It's OT in game 3. I don't know what has just happened to LVC, but the entire defense has disappeared. Collin just, I think, went for a demo and completely missed it, but either way, I'd rather him play defense there than go forward. But if I'm not mistaken, the play there is to get the demo, and if he gets that demo, that player just isn't there to get a touch whatsoever. Now you just got to be a little careful if you're LVC. Yeah, that one with how aggressive it was off the ceiling. It's good. But Pace, not out of it yet. They still have the opportunity to make this a 3-0 series lead and go to series point. That one's going to get sent downfield, but Samus is prepared for. He misses. Shot and free goal. LVC collapse in game 3. And now Pace on series point, looking to 4-0 Lebanon Valley. And it's 4-3. Another 3-4 game that goes Pace's way. But LVC, a 2-goal lead, and they just throw it away. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's just shooting yourself in the foot. I don't know that there's a foot left to speak of. And I mean, even in the stats, I don't even want to go into this. Actually, I do, because 6 demos for Samus, 3 for Colin. I mean, I don't know what more to say. LVC just looked like they didn't come to play today. And I just don't know. I don't know what is going on with this team. They look phenomenal. In that first part of the series, or I shouldn't say, they look phenomenal in the scrim beforehand, but now I just don't even recognize this Rocket League team, to be honest with you. I don't know what happened between the scrim and now, but they just don't look like the same team whatsoever. As our game is struggling to load, so we may end up having to remake the lobby here, but I mean, the stats don't even tell that crazy of a story. It just, you have to see it in the gameplay, and for LVC, I mean, you just got to stop beating yourselves up. I think the mental is a big part of this as well. It looks like, yeah, the lobby dropped, but we should be all right. I would imagine everyone's still in the party. It's just we have to remake the lobby real quick. But yes, I do see Frenchie is calling their timeout, so LVC will, at the very least, have an extra 2 minutes to talk things out. But this has just been I think, been the worst they've played the entire year. I think even in the first couple of series in the fall, they looked much better. I don't know what has happened with this team. This just looks unrecognizable from the LVC we've seen all year. So hopefully the timeout can help them get back on track and they can reverse sweep. But if you're a fan of RLCS, you know reverse sweeps and best of sevens are extremely rare. There's maybe been 3 or 4, at least at the pro level. That it just does not happen very often. It is something that is just proven to be one of the most difficult feats to pull off in the RLCS and just in competitive play in general. Winning these best of sevens is or reverse sweeping these best of sevens is very difficult due to their nature. But I mean, I don't even know what to say. LVC just need to communicate better with each other and find a way to stop beating themselves up in rotation. I think their rotations have been quite sloppy. They've been getting a lot of team bumps. It has just been a bad night in every facet. The shots have just not looked good. There's been a lot of shooting that just hits posts, hit crossbar, all of the above. And I don't know what more to say. It has just not been the night for LVC. And again, they're already qualified for nationals. There's nothing they can do to fall out of it. But at the same time, you are going to lose a lot of spots if you don't end up winning this series. And for Pace, I mean, they're just kind of out here to play because they can't make nationals, whether they know it or not. As far as I'm aware, they're not going to make nationals unless a few teams dropped out, which is possible. But I don't believe that they can make nationals regardless of result here. So it's just been a really weird series to watch, to be honest with you, because I don't really know. I don't have much to say. I mean, I will have much to say to the team after if they do end up falling in this series. And even if they don't, certainly a stern talking to is going to be happening, which is what is happening right now over in our arena, I'm sure, by Frenchie. But this team has to go into nationals as a completely different squad. I don't even recognize this team from what we've seen across the semester. So certainly would like to see them perform better here and close out this series in a 4-3 fashion, because the only way they can win now is in Game 7. But all that aside, we are into game number 4. Samus is going to get it one through just narrowly, but even that shot sneaks in off the post. That hits that right upright, but managed to just barely make its way through. And again, LVC with the lead. They started out with an early lead in game number 3 and went with a 2-goal lead even at a time for a fair majority of the map, or the game, I believe, but still ended up losing in overtime. Samus mid, Jay Collins' shot is good, so does actually get hit by the goalie, but regardless, it manages to sneak its way through. Now a 2-0 lead, and LVC starting to play with a little more pace to them. And that's realistically what's going to get them a victory here. But we saw in game 1, they were playing so fast it was actually a detriment to them. Now they're maybe getting back into their own speed. Maroon, I didn't like the way he turned for that ball, because he didn't need to. He just needs to get out of that play so he's out of the way of Colin, and into the defensive rotation. But still, those are micro adjustments, and Frenchie will certainly be the one to deal with those, as opposed to myself. Jay, though, will come through. Looks for the double touch. Will he get it? No, he didn't have boost to finish it. Good save from Colin, though. Recognizes that shot is coming through from that second player. Does manage to get there. Samus off the back wall, but there's really no one to follow it through. A bump, though, from Colin. Going to give Samus the opportunity to follow. And now a 3-goal lead in 59 seconds. Unfortunately, we weren't able to see most of it, but there you go. You can see at least the end part of the shot. The Valley looking like a new squad here in the first minute of game 4. That timeout buff certainly starting to hit, at least for right now. But as I say that, Maroon kind of gifted one to Pace Empire Gold, but they were not able to capitalize, and that's a double commit now. You've got a 1v2. Let's play this smart, and it looks like you'll at least get the demo so you can pass this one down. Samus to Jay Collin, and I would have liked to have seen Colin shoot there, but decides to just continue to maintain possession, and that's not the worst thing in the world. The worst thing in the world would have just been handing it over to Pace, and he didn't do that, so it's at least giving yourself something to work with. Samus has the reset, gets it, shot, not gonna go. Good save from Jay. Colin follows through, another save from Strays. Maroon misjudging that one a little bit, but he will get his opportunity to at least take a shot, but it was a little short. Ends up hitting the wall. Colin, though, adding to the pressure. Samus will finally break through. It is 4-0 in game 4. Much, much better from the Flying Dutchman. You don't have any more mistakes to give, and starting to show out now. Samus off the back wall, gets a good pass to Maroon, but not able to maybe get a pinch out of it. She probably would have had some pace. That player just got slammed into the ball. Not sure how that happened, but one of the LVC players certainly getting a bump there that greatly benefited them, as now Samus will send this one up to the back wall. Colin not able to get there in time. Jay meets him in front of the net. As Colin will just try to get a quick challenge, at least force Jay into a really awkward touch, because now this one has to just get sent across where Colin is currently sitting. Samus now with control. Does have some boost to work with, but ends up having to kind of dribble around a player, so he'll end up getting downfield, and that boost gets stolen from, so Maroon's going to take the shot instead. No bump from Samus, so Strays will send it away. No 5 for LVC at the moment, but at the very least, they are continuing to drain time off the clock with 1:45. It's looking like this should be all wrapped up for LVC in game number 4. They come out with a fire, and they've fixed a lot of their problems, from what it seems like. Another shot coming in from Pace Empire Gold, but again saved. That one from Jay Collin. A minute 20 on the board, and now you may just be looking to get some consolation if you are Pace Empire Gold, and that's not a great touch from Strays. The bump was at least helpful, but wasn't enough to lead to a goal, so Pace not able to even find their first just yet in this game. As Samus will just add to the pile. 5-0 with 59 seconds on the clock. This is LVC's game, as they'll, at the very least, prevent a shutout. But at the same time, they've still got a bit of a mountain to climb up. It's a good first step, though. Timeout seems to have helped greatly for 11 Valley. This one will be dribbled from Jay Collin. He gets the reset. Can't get the shot. It's a little too far below it for it to connect with his car the way he was maybe hoping to. Samus awkward off the post. Managed to still get that touch there. Collin just trying to prevent a shot coming through. Ends up just flipping weirdly off the post. But now with just 25, LVC just looking to keep this as a clean sheet. Jay is up. Not able to get a touch. Maroon follows him the whole way. Samus in a one-on-one. As that one will actually make it 6-0 in favor of LVC. 11 seconds left. And the timeout paying great dividends to Lebanon Valley, as Samus will just get a demo to add insult to injury. Looking for a seventh is Jay Collin. Samus not able to connect, so they'll look for Maroon, and that's going to be ground. So a huge one for LVC. Get themselves on the board and in a big way. And even with 5 saves, you've still given up 6 goals. We'll see if the timeout is used by Pace just to stop the momentum, especially after a trouncing like that. If anything, though, I think I'm saving the timeout for after Game 6 if we do go that far. I think I'm saving it for after Game 6 into Game 7. But, again, you just have to get that far in the first place. Looks like we'll be going straight into this next game, so we'll be A-OK. And I do want to point out the demos for LVC have been significantly more than Pace Empire Gold. Pace has just not really been a demo team. And I don't know if that's been a major issue, but it could potentially down the line become one. A couple shots are missed. That one from Jay was just not much power and was also met at the ball, but this one almost slotted through. Quick flurry of offense from Pace Empire Gold. Jay gonna look for the redirect. Actually, no, that's just a pass straight up to his teammate. Not gonna get there. So now Maroon will have an opportunity off the wall, but didn't grab boost. So he's only able to get one touch. A redirect from Samus sends it straight to the bottom middle of the net. Not gonna go. This time though with full boost, and unfortunately though, I think that pass was just a little too much on it. Wasn't able to get to it the way he was hoping to. But now LVC on the attack. Are they able to formulate anything out of it? 2 players on the wall for Pace, but it'll be Jay to carry it out. Reset, and that touch actually just hands it to Samus a little bit quicker. Stray, though, will get a good 50 onto Collin. And Maroon, again, just a really heavy touch that I think he would have been better off controlling. This one down mid. Stray is going to shoot this one forward. Saved away by Samus. Of course, you saw that player that we were spectating was looking for the bump. That was really what would have made that go through. Otherwise, it was just not going to happen. As Jay Collin has the corner, but unfortunately was already up, so he wasn't able to get to that ball fast enough. Waiting for boost. See, Maymac may actually be in a little bit of a rough spot. Jay Collin, not the ideal touch there. As now it'll be back into that LVC half. Samus looking for a pinch there with Maroon, but unable to get it. So Maroon just sends it downfield. Now he's got possession again, but no boost. That's a really weird one. reset off the very bottom of the car for Maymac, but now he's in a really bad spot. Needs to just get down field to his team on the defensive side, and I think he did just that, but another player did get demoed. I'm not sure who it was. I think it was a demo, though, by Pace. And that one certainly is a demo by Pace. Samus gets challenged immediately now. You just got to shoot this if you are Jay, but he's contested. The first one didn't end up going through, so now Maymac lost connection, so maybe that was why we saw some issues earlier, but I believe you just have to play it out, unfortunately. If you are Pace, hope he can reconnect. I'd have to check the rules on that one, but LVC now in a 2v3 advantage. Sam's going to shoot. He's not going to score, though, as I believe Jay is... no, he was not. I thought he was sitting to type, but was just waiting for the ball, so it looks like they will play this one out. Doing a great job, though, Jay. Just kind of having to sit permanently in net with no boost because there's just unlimited pressure now, and that's the very unfortunate thing. I hope we can see that player get back into the lobby as soon as possible. If not, we'll of course take a tech timeout after this game to make sure he gets in before we head into game 6. But yes, still not back in the lobby. Not ideal. Hopefully that gets cleared up because they don't have any other players checked in either. As Samus now has a one-on-one with Jay. Not able to get it. Maroon doesn't follow it. Samus and Jay Collin both double for that one. You have to be careful, though. You can still lose this if you are LVC. You need to be smart about how you play this 2v3. Just be more aggressive on your passes. Play the passing game. Play your numbers advantage. Don't force yourself out just because you think you have a free touch. And keep the ball on this orange half. Samus gets a good fake onto that first player, but Jay waiting behind. Maroon sends it across. But again, no one there. Jay Collin maybe looking for Samus here, but Samus was already retreating. Is now on the ceiling is Collin. Good second touch, but unfortunately met by Stray. Now LVC can just run this clock out. As we will see AO get back into the game, so thankfully we won't have to worry about that, but for the moment you are still down 1-0. It is doable if you are Pace Empire Gold to get back into this game, but not if one goes through, and Samus is the one to do it. 2-0 with 31 seconds remaining. Gets the better of AO there. And I am going to hold tab for a second. It looks like the connection is good. I'm not sure what happened there because they've had good connection the whole game. They've actually had better than us the whole game. So, not sure what happened, but they are back in. As this one could have gone through, and it will actually go through. So, you can see Samus a little frustrated there again because of that kickoff. And he actually ends up flying across net, maybe expecting that to float towards the face of net rather than hit the crossbar there, but it doesn't. So now LVC are in a bit of a pickle. Don't want to give this one away off the backboard. Collin needs to be there, and he is. Maroon is just patient here, but now he's caught awkward. Does get a touch, but now Samus is awkward because he jumped at it. Maybe not expecting Maroon to get there. 5 seconds left, and Samus has gotten it past 2. Can shoot this ball as well. Not going to go. Do you get this one away? And it looks like that is just enough. 2-1 victory. And we will head to game number 6 as they're going to take their timeout. And I won't argue with that one. It looks like AO has left the game again, maybe just trying to full reset everything to make sure that connection will not, or disconnect will not happen again. But yeah, the timeout will come through for Pace Empire Gold. And I'm not opposed to this timeout. I will say, I especially after you lose a player during connection mid-game and all that sort of stuff, I'm not gonna be super surprised by that timeout. I would like to save it for before game 7, but at the same time, that's fine too. So taking a look at the stats here, I mean, AO's obviously going to be really weird because he was out for like 2 or 3 minutes of that game, so don't really pay attention to that. But if you look at LVC, I mean, you're going to see Samus had 8 shots in that game again, and the saves category was huge too, especially at the start of the game. There were probably 2 or 3 shots that should have gone online, and they just did not, so that is also worth noting. But for now, Pace needs to just get back on track here. Hope that AO does not lag out again. I'm not sure what went down there, but it shouldn't be the end of the world. I think they'll be all right, and that's probably why they're just full leaving the lobby and joining back again, just to make sure that everything's good to go on that front and have no future issues, especially in a Game 7. I don't want to see that either. I don't want to see a 2v3 in Game 7. That's stupid, and that sucks. So hopefully we don't have to worry too much about that again. But for right now, Pace starting to get themselves on the back foot a little bit. 3-2, you still have that series point. Of course, you have that advantage from going up 3-0, but LVC now finding that passing game, controlling the ball a lot more. That's what I'm seeing a lot of. Controlling the ball. They are not just getting those large touches downfield that are kind of just forcing them out of position, this and there. So that is something that has been huge for LVC. It is giving them so much more control over the game, and that's something that was real. That, I mean, obviously I harped on, and I can't imagine it wasn't harped on by, or wasn't not harped on by Frenchie, especially, who has significant more Rocket League knowledge than I do. But while we have the time, let's talk about the championship of the Division 6 Northeast Conference. You see Pace and Arcadia taking each other on. Pace up 1-0 in that series right now. Probably a little bit further than that, I would imagine. I can't, unless it started later, which is possible as well. But Game 1 was a 2-0 win for Post University, so Post in the lead there, looking for their division title in Division 6 Northeast, taking on Arcadia. But here in our series, we should be out of the timeout in just a few moments here. Let's actually pop that scoreboard back on screen. I mean, actually, now that I'm looking at this, not even a single shot recorded for Colin. He gets 2 assists to his name and also 2 saves. Didn't even record a demo either. Not many demos in that game. We saw a lot of demo-heavy play from LVC early on in the series, and now it's seemingly tapering off a little bit. And it's more of just bump the goal league plays rather than demo. So that's what you like to see from Levin Valley. Is I think Samus accidentally joined the team, but you'll see, yeah, actually everyone from LVC joining, but Pace is not. I believe that would mean the 2 minutes are in fact up. And yeah, it's actually AO's game is still bugging. So that's what just got mentioned in the game chat. Obviously you guys can't see it, but I can. AO's game is still bugged out. So I don't really know what's going on, but after a certain amount of minutes, unfortunately, they're forced to play as 2v3, I believe. So hopefully that gets fixed. I don't want to see that. I know Pace doesn't want to see that. I know we don't want to see that either. So hopefully we don't have to worry about that. But I'm not really sure what's going on there. I don't know how this is happening, but it's okay. So Jay has let us know that his game is repeatedly crashing. I had never seen Rocket League crash before, so I'm a little surprised, unfortunately, that is happening. But so it is not a connection issue at the least, but that's not really helpful when your game is constantly crashing over and over. So in the rule book, actually, Frenchie is calling me, so unfortunately, I apologize. I'm going to mute. I'll turn some music on. I'll be right back. I was just about to pull the rule book open for this. I know. You act like I've seen this before. I'm not skipped. Yeah, give me 1 sec. Let me pull up the rule book. I think they get a few minutes. I'm pretty sure it's like 3. It's like around 5 minutes. Well, yeah, they can use their timeout there, Oh, apologies. I just realized I forgot I had my mic muted. We are back, but just to let everyone know, if any more issues happen with AO, they will not be allowed to start the next game if it is in between games. As we have Samus going for a save here, barely able to get so. Maroon just narrowly there too. So there are no more tech timeouts or tack timeouts for Pace. They have used all of them, so no more timeouts left for them. If there are any more tech issues, they have to just play regardless. So just letting you guys know what's going on there. But we are into game number 6 as LVC continuing to look for this reverse sweep in this best of 7. Colin just narrowly gets that 50 there, so that should give them enough time to get back, and it does. Samus, though, not going to get the touch. That's a little bit scary, but looks like things are A-okay for right now, as Jay will send this one to the backboard. Samus is waiting for it. Good pass up to Jay Colin. Now Colin dribbles it downfield, gets a 50 above a player. Jay gets one touch and gets the clear off of Maroon there. Although I'm not sure how much of a fan of that touch I am from Colin, but it works out. But again, this is what I see a lot from Colin. He's trying to outpace everybody on the map when he doesn't need to. And it forces him to kind of outpace his own skill, if that makes sense. As looks like the packet loss is just on our side. Just had to make sure real quick. But good patience there from Pace, but it will not matter. As obviously direct that one away again. I think we're the only ones having issues, hopefully, as I don't see Frenchie or anyone typing in chat. So please mind the packet loss. I don't know what's going on, but there's a whole lot of issues just loading up all at once. As Samus pass out to Colin, looking for the double, but that one just narrowly sent away. So Colin doesn't even get the attempt for the double. As now all 3 players from LVC are in this corner. Samus manages to grab boost. Now being patient with the ball. Off the backboard, no one home in a position to take a shot. Colin not able to follow through on that. Samus and Maroon jump at the same time, but there's no follow through for Pace, so they're going to be all right. Colin going to send this one down. Mid boost grab by Maroon here, but he's in a really awkward spot. Just needs to be careful with how he's positioning himself, because that could have gotten a little weird, especially if there's a touch in from Pace. Now Samus shot, no good. Misses the corner there, but either way, LVC still continuing to show their offense. That one is a little awkward for Maroon. Does manage to make it work, but had to hit the bottom of his car on that challenge. Samus will get a really good 50 downfield. But for right now, it's just been really heavy touches, as that one's almost a pass to this opposing team. Just narrowly goes wide right with just 45 seconds remaining. Still no goals for either team. Samus out mid, but Maroon is patiently waiting his third. Now this one will go back. Colin popped it up to Samus and actually almost bumped Samus in the process. Either way, though, he was met at the ball, but this is going to be a shot, and it should be a goal for Pace Empire. Goal that no one for LVC rotated back. 21 seconds remain, and the 50 onto Maroon is not ideal. I mean, the shot's nearly missed, but just barely rolls through. Now Jay Colin gets beat to the ball, and that's a second. And that might be your dagger for Pace Empire Gold. Looking to end their season on a high note. Again, Pace based on calculations, cannot make nationals, even if they win here, but they can at least end their season with another victory in third place in the division. You've got maybe 5 seconds here for LVC to score their first. But it's not looking like that will be the case, and Pace Empire Gold will claim third. LVC will fall after the big sets of timeouts from Pace Empire Gold. LVC get a little iced there, but unfortunately for them, they're going to head into nationals coming off of 2 really difficult losses. So the last game will finish 2-0. And it will be a 4-2 scoreline for Pace Empire Gold. Taking a final look at the stats there, you can see it's just a really weird game there, I think, as a whole, because LVC kind of, I mean, both teams got iced by 5 minutes. Actually, 7. It was 7 full minutes between games 5 and 6. And unfortunately for LVC, that ended up being their downfall. And for Pace, they finally get back into it, and they end up winning. So congratulations to them. They will end their season on a high note, but unfortunately still not able to make nationals regardless of the result. But either way, that is going to do it for us today. Thank you all for joining us. We will be back next week, starting on Monday when LVC Valorant takes on nationals. Will be playing in the national quarterfinals against Wright State in the first round. But for LVC, we have to find out who they play in Rocket League. If they win next Wednesday, they will also play next Friday, which is in fact Dutchman Day, from what I've been informed of. So let's also be aware of that. But thank you guys all for joining. Go follow us on social media at LVC_esports on both Twitter and Instagram. Also, go follow us here on Twitch. Turn those notifications on to see when we go live and who we are streaming. But for now, that is going to do it for us. Thank you all for joining. We will catch you guys back here on Monday when LVC gets started with the national circuit. We'll see you guys on Monday. Have a good weekend.